and welcome to Mint's new series, Brick by Byte, presented in partnership with NucleusOfficeParks. This is Vandana Ramnani, and with me today is Anuj Puri, Chairman at the ANAROCK Group. Hi Anuj, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me here. It's always a pleasure to interact with you.
Thanks, Anuj. So, Anuj is here to speak to us about the commercial and residential real estate trends, as well as unravel the technological revolution which is taking place in the real estate space.
Yes, absolutely. Right? Looking forward to that conversation.
So, now your company had launched a product called Apna Complex in India, right? And the same year, I think it was in 2021, you had also launched Anna City in Dubai.
Yes.
Now, is the company planning to launch or has it already launched proptech products in India?
So, a very interesting question, and I'm very passionate about this. I left my prior role with JLL because I really wanted to get into proptech. I mean, technology is one place where I think hasn't made that meaningful impact in real estate. It has made huge impact elsewhere. I do feel is in the coming years, you will see is a lot more positive impact of technology coming into real estate. And that's the thesis with which, when we set up in 2017, ANAROCK, we went in with a huge amount of proptech. I mean, today we sell some 18,000 apartments. Without a proptech play, you can't sell, that volume of apartments a year. And then we have extended that to say is, what are the other places that you can really use tech to bring in more productivity, more efficiency, more customer engagement, more delight to your consumer, whether they are in the office side or whether they are residential, to be able to bring technology in their lives, because technology is already in their lives for everything, whether it is from, cabs to, getting food ordered or, booking a show or taking a flight or going on holiday.
The phone is always on.
The phone is always on, right? Exactly. Yeah. So why not in real estate and that's the thesis with which we went out, and then some of it we built organically, Vandana, some we have acquired, where we thought is that we can add value, and this is what the consumer wants. As you rightly said we have been investing. So there is Apna Complex Anna City, and I'll talk a little bit about that. But there is also My HQ, a platform that we acquired along with the founders. It's an aggregator of co-working spaces. So it has got 1,600 co-working platforms on it. If you need, say, one desk for a day in Siliguri, you just go to My HQ and you can book a desk in a business center for a day. On that is, look at the convenience. It's an app. It's the convenience of, getting on to that is. Anna City and Apna Complex is a business that we had, again, inorganically acquired. It had been going on from 2013. And we discovered once the developer sells, his or her engagement with the consumer on the residential really is not as good. What can be done through the technology that right through the cycle of the entire construction, the consumer is engaged with the developer, which means, can I get my construction update, pictures? Can I get my demand requirements? Can I get my documentation? Everything over 3, 4, 5 years until it gets completed through an app. So that's what it did. And the same app, interestingly, converts into a community management app, which means that once you're occupying the building, your entry exit of visitors, your booking of the facilities, amenities, everything, your payment of the bills, maintenance bills is all through the app. So the journey right from the day you book the apartment under construction and until you are living in there is really on that one app. So, from our perspective, we felt this is what the developers really needed. And we've been sort of implementing it in, DLF, Mahindra, Oro Realty, Signature Global, Purvankara, you name it. All these guys are our clients who've taken those apps. In fact, NucleusOfficeParks, they are one of our bigger clients. So in all their offices, we're putting in this app, which means that the tenant engagement, the employee engagement who's sitting in there is now going to be through this app. So it's a very forward-looking engagement, delight, and convenience for either on the residence, you are residential occupier, or on the commercial side, if you are occupying as an employee of either a tenant or buyer of that office.
Any new products that you intend acquiring or launching in this particular space?
So one of the things that we are really wanting, Vandana, is that how do we continue to make sure that the discovery of the home buyer becomes easier, which means is the actual purchase will always be physical. So let's not be in this, illusion to say is that that Vandana is going to come in and buy on the app. She's not going to buy it on the app. She will actually look at physical form before she buys, but the discovery of the shortlisting of the properties will be done on the app. That is what we are really going in, and that is where our intelligence, artificial intelligence, AI generative is really working. What it means is, the moment you call, we will go through 74 parameters.
Right.
What day you have called, what time of the day you have called. For example, if on a Monday at 12 noon you have called, it will be ranked a very high platinum lead.
Oh, I see.
Which number, which mobile carrier, which location you are calling from. And that is how through 74 parameters it goes through and blinks that this is a platinum customer. Chances 1 and 2, this is going to buy.
Okay. Assessment is done.
Assessment is easier, and that is what we are continuing to discover. I'm a big proponent of the proptech. I do feel is this is one of the last large sectors which hasn't truly been disrupted by technology. And it's not that it will not ever get disrupted. I think as sort of our generation becomes more passé and the next generation and the generation after that comes in, you will see is that real estate will get disrupted through technology.
So, Anuj, now that you're talking about proptech, now how does proptech impact the real estate sector really? I mean, when you look at rental discovery or you look at cleaner titles, land titles in particular, I mean, in a city like Mumbai and other cities as well, I mean, does it make life easier for developers to acquire land? Or, if I want to build on a plot of land, does it make life easier for me?
Big time, Vanda. So I would say is right from, land titles, majority of the state governments are digitizing this. So you would actually be able to just Google and get into the website of that particular registrar and be able to see the title. Today it is a cumbersome process. If you're going to buy a land, for example, in Alibag, on the outskirts of Bombay, it's a very cumbersome process to do that title verification. In some years to come, and many of the state governments have already done it, is you will be able to just go on the sub-registrar's site and be able to visibly see, is this land that I'm acquiring, has it got the right title or not? Along with that, then, will come the title insurance and also the ease of being able to do the transaction. That's the start. But if you were to continue with that, is the biggest impact in my view will come on the construction. Okay. Technology will continue to bring in more efficiency, will bring in, that will compress the timelines, will compress the cost, will improve the quality. Correct. Today, there is a lot of wastage in that construction. Other than that, as you continue with the engagement of your home buyer or the office occupier, that engagement will be all through tech. So right from, the day that you acquire the land, to the construction, to the development, and to the sale, it is going through technology. Once you have sold it, the continuation of the journey of that occupier will be through technology.
Okay. So construction timelines will come down is what you're saying.
As more and more technology will come in, you will see is what it is doing is it is bringing the inefficiency in the system down. It is bringing the wastage in the system down. And that is where it will have a positive impact.
Sure. So another thing, Anuj, how has the sector actually reacted to this proptech revolution? Have traditional real estate players, who've been in this industry for generations. I mean, how are they taking on to proptech?
It's a very interesting question, Vandana, that whether the adoption has been as quick as in some of the other sectors, answer unfortunately is no.
What percentage can you share?
I would say is that as more and more youngsters are coming in,
the next generation.
Gen Z are coming into the workforce. I think that is where more and more technology is coming in. But if you were to look at it, Vandana, the sort of developer profile today, the owner of the developer profile is someone above 50 years old. Not many are going to be so adaptive to that technology. My guess is that it'll take a little bit more time as the Gen Z come into more decision-making power. You will see is over the next 5-7 years, more and more technology disrupting some of the older practices that were going on. So to answer the question, it has not been an immediate impact, but it is a process. And I do feel is as more Gen Z in their respective roles get into the decision making, they will bring in more tech because they're used to more tech. Today, I mean, if you were to ask a Gen Z, I mean, the first thing that they do is, look at their mobile and says, what's going on in the world. And they are so apt at it is that they will say is, we're not going to work the way the old system used to work is. We do want to bring in tech because we have seen the benefit of it. By the way, this one is world over. This is not only an India phenomena that on the proptech side, India has been a late adopter. It is world over that on the real estate side, we have been amongst the last adopters of technology. Yet it is such a large sector. I mean, if you were to look at it in terms of the value, it is the highest value, in comparison to mutual funds, stock market, gold, diamond, fixed deposits. Everything is lower than this. And yet I'm saying is that it is a very late adopter of technology.
Oh, I see. So does this mean that more, developers adopt proptech, you'll actually see more investments in the real estate setup in the segment, especially in terms of private equity investments coming in from abroad? I mean, because everything is available online,
Yes.
Do you see that working out to be faster?
So, Vandana, we're seeing there are a lot of the investors who are interested in playing on this proptech, but they are also suspicious. Because at this moment in time, the volumes, the revenues of the proptech, the profitability in that hasn't been fully demonstrated. So whilst I'm very enthusiastic and optimistic that it'll happen yet if you were to ask a private equity, they're going to be like, guys, we did invest. We've not had the best of the experiences, but we are watching this because we believe this is a large sector. At some stage, it will get impacted big time on the technology. We're wanting to play maybe small bits of it but not going full hog, not like a sort of a Zomato or an Ola or a Swiggy that we're going to invest billions of dollars on this. We do want to see is that how small impacts of technology are going to benefit either, the developer or the investor or the occupiers.
How long is this story? I mean, you see this...
I think it's an interesting question. And how long it is my guess is, Vandana, as the Gen Z comes in over the next 5, 7, 10 years.
And the next generation.
And the next generation. So they will start to see the benefit of that. So I would say is anywhere between sort of now till the next, 10 years.
10 years.
Where it'll make meaningful sense. You will start to see, I mean, like our revenues and our profit, I attribute a huge amount of that to really technology. But, we may be one of those sort of rare companies who've been able to demonstrate profitable growth in large numbers. But you will need more such companies coming through.
But there are companies, Anuj, especially in the real estate space, some of them who have set up incubation centers.
Yes.
And they're also using, these startups.
Yes.
In a very big way.
Yes.
Because recently, when CREDAI had this NatCon in Sydney, they had, several sessions on proptech. And in one of the sessions, there was talk about, actually engaging robots to, do the facade of buildings and, to check on your garbage collection, check on your electricity consumption, water consumption, even assessing your water table before you start a project. Yeah,
yes,
so
yes,
it is coming in, it is catching on.
Yeah, and look at it, I'm so delighted that in such a large conference, you had proptech, which was prominently displayed in there, which does answer the question that you're asking is that, is this really going to impact? If you look at it, 1,400 developers spending time in Australia on understanding proptech, that means subconsciously they are aware that this is a sector, real estate as a sector will get, I won't say disrupted by technology, but technology will aid in bringing in more profitability, more productivity, and more convenience.
And Anuj, coming to another trend in the real estate space that we are seeing of late is that of amenities. Now, every developer, when now that they're advertising during the festive season, I mean, the thrust has been, we're offering X number of
Yes.
amenities, and this is our USP. So, how have amenities evolved, both in the residential as well as the commercial space? So, what is new that we are seeing in the market today?
So, Vandana, on the commercial space, I'll answer that first.
Yeah.
Is the youngsters, you have to bring them back to office post-COVID.
Right.
Look, in India, it has still happened because our homes are small, so people are wanting to anyway go to office and work in an office environment. But in more mature markets, Western world, it's been very difficult to bring in, the workforce back into office. The way that you bring them is you provide facilities, you provide amenities, you provide engagement, you provide sort of activities in there. Is if I'm friends with Vandana and there is a lunch that is being organized in the amenities, or there are games that are being organized, or there's a tournament that is being organized, I will necessarily go to the office that days. So those amenities are really engagement. Those are amenities where communities are being formed. Once you form a community, you want to work in that environment. So it's actually a way to be able to bring back talent into the office, by a way to attract talent. That's why office developers are building in amenities, because their occupiers, their tenants are asking, for our employees, we need amenities.
For engagement.
For community building, for them to come to the office, for them to join our firm. We want to be the preferred choice of employer.
Correct.
So we want to be in a building which has tons of amenities, because by virtue of that, we will attract better quality talent.
Also, resale value goes up, right?
Even if they're tenants on the office side.
Okay.
So, because they're not owners in that cases, they're still looking at it from the convenience and engagement and community building and becoming the employer of choice for the employee. And this could be many amenities. I mean, it could be from sporting amenities to F&B, cafes, bowling alleys, cinema halls, to sort of mini theaters in there, to be able to have sort of convenient shopping across in the same office park.
Why is it that real estate developers across the country are focusing on ultra luxury? And with prices starting at more than 5 CR, and who's buying these apartments? Yeah.
So it is interesting, Vandana, that today, if you were to ask, really, I would say post-COVID, the phenomena has been luxury and ultra luxury, and that is what the buyer is really looking at. Unfortunately, at the cost of affordable housing, because clearly the demand has moved by the rich people to buy more and more luxurious properties. And, these are, as you rightly said, is ranging from, I would say, 4-5 crores going onwards to 40-50 crores. And much of the demand is coming in from, people who are cashing out from the stock market, because there have been a lot of gains there. Much of it is where they had been living in joint family, and, post-COVID, they're wanting their own independence. They had a lot of financial ability, but never wanted to invest in real estate. And now the next generation who's coming in, the spouses are saying is, we want to live our life properly. And we want to enjoy.
Nucleus setups.
And nucleus setups, as a result of which, these sort of wealthy people are buying luxury and ultra luxury. And the demand at this moment in time, I have never seen in last 30 years, this kind of demand. But I must put a caveat. This is largely Bombay, in NCR, Gurgaon, and limited to Bangalore. It is not across India. So these are the 3 cities, and sometimes, it appears that everywhere, there is luxury, ultra luxury. But other than these 3 cities, the demand is pretty lackluster.
And are prices expected to go up further?
So the prices, have run up over the last 4 years. And, they have run up in many cities up to 50-60% in the last 4 years. I dare say that from here onwards, you're going to see any rapid increase in the price. Price will continue to rise, but it will be in line with the inflation. So 7-8% per annum, not the 15-17% that we saw in the last 4 years. But I must also, justify the increase in the price over the last 4 years that had transpired. The reason for that was that prior to that, a 7-year period, which is really from 2013 leading up to end of 2019, the price rise was on an average 2% per annum.
Right.
So if you look at it from these 7 years, 2013 to 19 and 2% per annum. And then it has gone up in the last 4 years to 15 or 17% per annum. If you aggregate it over the last 10 years, it may be only 6-7% per annum. From 2013 to say 2024, on an average, the price would have been only 6-7%. But because we are only looking at last 4 years, we're saying, oh, prices have gone up rapidly, forgetting the 7 years prior to that was actually pretty lull.
Now, if say I as an investor wants to invest, now should I be investing on the commercial side or should I be investing on the residential side? I mean, where do you see there is more profitability in investing in real estate?
So, Vandana, it's a question that I will ask you to say is, Vandana, what is your requirement? Mm-hmm. Your requirement is rental return, which means that I just want monthly return to come in. Then I would say is invest in commercial.
Okay.
Because you get 7-8% return on the value of the property.
Right.
As a rental. So as a thumb rule per annum, you will get 7-8% return. And then there is capital appreciation of 3-4% every year. So in all, you will probably get 12-13% return coming in from commercial. If you are saying is that I am only wanting to play on capital appreciation,
correct,
and rental return is not the most important thing, unlike on the office side, then I would say do residential, because there the capital growth is 7-8%.
Right.
And the rental is 2-3%.
Right.
So in both those circumstances, if you add capital return and rental return, it adds up to 12-odd%.
Right.
But on the commercial, it's more like 8% rental and 3-4% appreciation, capital appreciation. In this one, the capital appreciation is 3-4% per annum.
Right.
The rental return in the residential is 3-4% per annum. The capital appreciation is 7-8-9% per annum is. So it's really, as an investor, what do you want? You want capital appreciation? Many people say, yes, I want capital appreciation over a period of time. Many people say, I want monthly rental return. So that's what you have to really divide. Now in commercial also, there is a huge amount of opportunity.
REITs are there.
REITs are there. REITs are there. Fractional has come in. In REITs, you have large REITs and you have, what SEBI has now allowed is small, mid-sized REITs coming in as well as. I'm a big supporter of REITs. I absolutely believe is, that's a product that you will start to see more and more retail investors wanting to subscribe to it. It came in 2017 or 2018. So it's been only sort of 5, 6, 7 years. So not that much. Institutions play a big role. They love this product. But I do feel is that the retail investor needs to understand this much better. It's a product that you should have in your portfolio because there is a sort of a quasi guaranteed return that you get in through dividends, because as the rental comes into the REIT, they distribute it, every 6 months to the retail investors. So by virtue of that, there is almost a fixed dividend that you get every 6 months.
Thanks, Anuj. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks, viewers. Thanks for watching us. See you in the next episode of Brick by Byte.